some Buffalo Bills football, talking some Buffalo sports. Let's do this the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this Thursday night live edition of Billievers Talk, where we're going to bring you a bunch of news in Buffalo sports and in the NFL. Plenty of news going around today regarding the NFL new rules. We'll talk about the new rules. We'll talk about what's going on in the NFL concerning this pandemic and what the NFL's next steps may be. And guys, I know we were freaking out for a minute, but it looks like maybe, just maybe, we're going to be having some NFL football this September. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Again, as you guys get in here, welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Let people know that we are here talking Buffalo Bills football and whatever else we want to talk about. We'll talk about Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel made some comments today. Might have some Sabres fans concerned. Of course, this is the day after the Buffalo Sabres bring back Jason Batterall, or however you say his name right now. I don't give a crap. Hey, Amy, how you doing? Welcome to Billievers Talk. Always glad to see you in here. Hey, the stud. Good you're in here as well. And again, thank you guys for commenting. And guys, I will always get to your comments. If you're not new to the channel, you know that. If you're new to the channel, if I missed you the first time, resend it. Hit that super chat button. All the proceeds from that super chat button do go back into the channel, so I really do appreciate it. But first, we want to talk about our boy. We want to talk about our boy, Jack Eichel, right? And obviously, if something comes up you guys want to talk about, please let me know. So again, days after, maybe 2 days after the Buffalo Sabres, Kim Pegula come out and announced that the Buffalo Sabres are sticking with the GM that's been there for 3 seasons and really has now helped this team improve. Again, the Sabres now on a 9-season long playoff drought. I wonder how the playoff drought works for the teams that don't make it past the first round of this 24-league playoff. If you don't know, the NHL has a new 24-team playoff format for this season as they try to get back from the pandemic. And again, guys, make sure you're all being safe out there. But I wonder, like, if your team, in the division, if your team 9 through 12 who didn't make it past the first round, does that still count as a playoff appearance for you? I think it would. I think it would have to, right? Because of this new format. However, would there be an asterisk there? I don't know. I don't know how that would work out. But I know that the Buffalo Sabres are not in it. And I know that Jack Eichel has shown that he is frustrated, and that could concern a lot of Buffalo Sabres fans. If you're a fan of Jack Eichel, obviously he's the only one lone bright spot on this team. We talk about Jack Eichel. He led the team in goals, led the team in assists, led the team in points, led the team in minutes, led the team in everything. Every category you can think of, he probably led the team in goals or in saves, in save percentage. He was just that dominant, that good. Made his 3rd All-Star game appearance since 2015. So we hear him getting frustrated. We hear him getting fed up. And he made nothing but good points, right? He talked about how these teams that made it to the playoffs, even if they're not good enough to make it to the second round, they're getting that extra experience. Remember, the season was cut short due to the pandemic. So they're getting that extra experience, that extra exposure, that extra hockey time on the ice with your teammates. And that's time the Sabres are not going to get. Now, today, it was also announced that NHL teams that didn't make the playoffs can start trading. Well, that's great. We're trading with 6 other teams that didn't make a 24-team playoff. Come on now. Come on. Are those teams you want to be trading with? Is that what you want to trade for? I mean, what are we going to do? Maybe trade draft picks? What are we going to do? Who are we going to trade for? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So Jack Eichel had some comments to make, and he's just not happy with the way things are being handled in Buffalo, and I can't blame him. Again, Kim Pegula saying that they know more than the fans do when it comes to hiring and firing a GM. That might be true, but all I see is losses, and all I want to see are wins. That's all that matters to me, are wins and losses. I want to see this team back in the playoffs. I want to see this team doing what they do best. Hey, angry Buffalo sports fan, cry your eyes out, because that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're not, because the Sabres ownership ain't doing anything, right? And we know that they're the same owners as the Buffalo Bills, and it's almost like night and day, right? It's almost like night and day, the difference between the Sabres and the Bills, right? The Bills are run by someone other than the Pegulas, okay? The Pegulas are the owners of the team. Brandon Beane's the GM. Coach McDermott is the coach. They run the team. Thanks, Amy. What are the new rules? We'll get into that, Sty. I promise we will get into that. There are 3 new rule changes in the NFL, so we will get to that as well. But we're just, it seems like we're just hitting a wall, right? We're hitting a brick wall, not going anywhere, and everyone's okay with that. Now, over on the NHL side, you have Kim Pegula as the president. And I said this, hey, John, how you doing? With all this time, Sabres can't figure out what to do with the GM or get a new GM. And all right, I am actually going to defend, and this will be the one time in my life, listen, if next season the Sabres turn it around and you know, we have to eat crow, we'll eat crow at that time. But this is going to be the one time this season that I am going to defend the Buffalo Sabres GM. And here's why. Hear me out. So when you have a team president, and he's simply the team president, right? He'll come at you and he'll throw an idea your way. If you're the GM and he or she is the team president and he or she's like, hey, what about this guy? What about this situation? What about doing this? What about doing that? You can decide as the GM, because the president doesn't touch you, right? The president can't decide if you stay or if you go. So you decide as the GM whether to listen to what the president says or to kind of blow it off and say, no, here's the direction we're going. But when the president of the team is a co-owner of said team, it adds a little bit more weight to every decision. Are you going to tell the team president, Kim Pegula, no? Are you going to say, oh, I'll put that on the back burner, I'll think about that later? Probably not. Probably not, right? All of a sudden, everything that's said, everything that's done, it carries that much weight. Whether Kim Pegula meant it to mean that much or not, everything that she does carries that much more weight. Not just because she's the owner, but now she's the president on top of the owner. Oh yeah, and who's the other owner of the Buffalo Sabres? Her husband. Her husband. Whose side is he going to be on? I mean, all right, so is bad... the GM, is he the right choice for the Sabres? I don't think so. I did a video on it yesterday when we did announce the re-signing, but let's be clear about something. Kim Pegula is still behind everything. John, we just got a new coach last year. Let's not get rid of Freddie Ralph Kruger yet. Or Ralph Freddie Kruger, however you want to say it. Let's hold on to him. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can get these boys playing good hockey. There were times last season where they were playing good, fundamental hockey. And that's all you need to do. Listen, when half the teams, when 80% of the teams are making the playoffs and you don't make the playoffs, it's simple. You just didn't play fundamental hockey. You just didn't play fundamental hockey long enough to matter. Almost 80% of teams are making the playoffs and you're on the outside looking in. That's sad. That's sad. And when Jack Eichel comes out, your star, your only bright spot, comes out and says, we want to be a top 8 team, not a top 12 team, and you couldn't even be top 12, there's a problem. There's a problem. He makes Tim Murray. Yeah, let's bring Tim Murray back, right? I mean, and you know, and someone brought this up to me on Twitter because I did put out a Twitter poll asking if anyone was happy about Barrow coming back this season, and if it's surprisingly people are. And I asked why, and someone said, hey, look at what Tim Murray left him, and I understand that Tim Murray didn't do a great job either, but since our GM's been in there, he's had 16, I think it's either 16 or 18 draft picks, right? Since 3 years ago when he was brought in. And only 2 of them have seen time in the NHL. That's a problem. That's a problem and it needs fixed. I don't know how it can be fixed. I don't. But it needs to be fixed. Does that mean getting a new president? Maybe. But as her husband, how are you going to fire your wife? As co-owner of the team, you know, it kind of creates a conflict, and that was a conflict from the beginning. We knew at the beginning when they made Kim Pegula president, it was going to be a problem, and here it is. It's a problem. Maybe they care more about the Bills than the Sabres. It's not a matter of caring. I mean, listen, the city of Buffalo will support both of them. I promise you. I promise you, if they're both good at the same time, the city of Buffalo will come through to you. When haven't they? When haven't they come through for you, right? Let's see some Buffalo Sabres playoff hockey. Could you imagine the city of Buffalo if, again, the Sabres were in the playoffs and the Bills were in the playoffs at the same time, same year, obviously it wouldn't be the same time, but same year, it'd be lights out. You want to talk about making some dough. You want to talk about making that green. Have that happen. Have that happen, because I know one thing the Pagulas care more about than the Bills or the Sabres is that money. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to make some good money, the Sabres can help you out. The Bills can help you out. Bills Mafia, we can help you out. We'll support you. Hell, we supported you through and it wasn't all the Pagulas, obviously, an 18-year playoff drought. We're still trying to support you through a 9-year playoff drought. We'll support you. We're behind you. But you gotta show effort. You gotta say, hey guys, you can't come out like Kim Pegula did yesterday and say, oh, we know more than the fans do. The fans only see what's on the ice. Yeah, we see what's on the ice and it's not a good product. We see what's on the ice and that's enough for us to say this isn't good enough. We see you bring in Hall of Famers and you have to get some cheap knockoff 50th anniversary gold jersey for them because you didn't have one ready for them. We see that. You're right, we don't see everything, but we see enough. And that is just, I mean, if you want to talk about Buffalo Sabres, I'm pretty sure you understand by now. I'm ready to talk some Buffalo Sabres. I'm ready to get some frustrations out. We haven't even gotten started yet here. But again, guys, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk. Again, Jack Eichel showing his frustration, as all Sabres fans should, and all Sabres fans will if this continues to happen. Again, thank you guys for joining me. Defensive GM, you got coronavirus. I think you're delusional from the field. No, I'm not. And if you watched my video yesterday, I said the same thing everyone else said. What are they thinking? And the problem is they're not. They're not. Grab players that he was left with. Yeah, again, Kruger's only been there for a season. Let's see what happens. And it's not just the players he's been left with. He still has to deal with a GM who's not getting him any better players, right? This GM isn't doing anything. The talent pool is not there. The AHL players down in Rochester aren't that great either. So it just leads to a completely bad run organization right now at this time. And Tony, you're absolutely right. All right, so you want to talk about rule changes in the NFL. Let's talk rule changes in the NFL. Let me get my paper out here. I will talk about some of the rule changes. Like I said, there were 3 rule changes and 1 bylaw change that came out today in the NFL. So again, guys, let's talk about those. If you haven't already hit that thumbs up button, guys, hit that thumbs up button. As we just talked about Jack Eichel and the Buffalo Sabres, we're going to get ready to talk about the new rule changes in the NFL. If you have a question about the Buffalo Bills, if you want to talk Buffalo Bills, leave it in the comment section. Again, happy to get back to you. There is 1 rule change that I might go off about. Absolutely might go off about. I'm serious right now, guys. What I just said about the Buffalo Sabres, that might be a 2 compared to how mad I'm going to be when I talk about this 1 rule change. I don't know how long it will be. I don't know how long the run will be, but I promise you it's going to be there. Thank God Pegula doesn't think he knows football. It's not the guy Pegula that thinks he knows more than he does. All right? Call me sexist, I guess, but I'm not. I'm just, the president's the president, right? The president of the Sabres, not, oh geez, let me drink. All right, so here we go. So many of you heard that the NFL was talking about proposing a different rule other than the onside kick, doing a 4th and 15. 4 teams to basically get the ball. So the way it would work, and obviously the details were not finalized, which is why they decided to put on the back burner for maybe next year or year coming up. So the way it would work is instead of an onside kick, which again, the way the NFL rules work now, it's kind of unfair for onside kicks. Although the Dolphins seem to recover one against us every year, there aren't too many recoveries right now because everybody starts on the same line as far as kick returners go, and no one can move until the ball is kicked. Where before, there would be 5 yards back, and they get running head start. You don't get that head start anymore. Makes it a little more difficult to recover onside kicks. So the NFL Rules Committee is trying to see if there's a way to make, competition committee I should say, is trying to see if there's a way to make this more fair. Teams down late, how can we help them come back? And so, hey, Austin, how you doing? Welcome to Billievers Talk. Glad that you were in here. Haven't missed much, just me going off ranting about the Sabres. Now we're getting into the NFL rule changes. So what the competition committee brought out, and the Eagles brought this proposal out, is a 4th and 15. So the way it would work is instead of, let's say you're down 27-13 late in the fourth quarter, you score a touchdown, make it 27-20, less than 2 minutes to go, you have to go for that onside kick. Well, instead of going for an onside kick, what if you had a 4th and 15 from the 20-yard line, from your own 20-yard line, which means you have to go 80 yards even if you convert, but you have a 4th and 15. So if you convert it, then the drive keeps going. If you don't, the other team gets the ball where you left it, okay? So you convert the 4th and 15 at the 35, then it's 1st and 10 from the 35. You have that new drive. If you don't convert it, if you only complete a pass for 10 yards, Team B, the defense, the winning team, takes over at 30, 3 kneel downs, game's over, or they're in field goal range to extend a lead if it's late in the game. So that's the rule proposed by the Philadelphia Eagles. The owners decided that they really haven't finalized anything yet. They would like to work out some kinks before they brought it to the table as far as a rule change. So that rule change will not happen. Another rule change that you might have heard about potentially happen this season is having a booth umpire, right? Having someone up in the booth that could see all types of different things, officiating calls on the field. Remember those black coat officials that came onto the field during the playoff game against the Houston Texans? Hey, Ronald, how you doing? Glad to see you in here. Basically, they want a field judge, a booth umpire that would be those guys, except for in the booth, because a lot of Bills fans were upset about some random people running onto the field in black coats thinking that they could do something, and they just said, oh, because we knew he wanted to fair catch the ball, obviously he wanted to do it, so we have to make it that way. That's something else I really shouldn't get into. Obviously, I'm over that playoff loss, so they wanted to have a booth umpire. That was scratched, at least for the season. Again, no booth umpire, so we will not be seeing any of that. All right, so let's get to the actual rule changes, the rules that have changed or have been amended for the 2020 NFL season. Again, guys, I'm excited. There is going to be, at least at this point, it looks like there is going to be a 2020 NFL season. Last month at this time, we weren't so sure, right? We weren't sure at all, but it's glad to see that it looks like there will be a 2020 NFL season. We have enough official interface. Yeah, we do. And some of these rules are not going to help that at all. So the first rule is the automatic replay review. I kind of like this one, okay? Now, and you let me know in the comment section, simply write yes or no if you like this rule or not. We'll talk about it a little bit. So the automatic replay rule, as most of you know by now, the replay for scores and for turnovers is automatically reviewed. Automatically reviewed, so coach does not have to waste one of his 2 challenges on a turnover or a score because you know it's automatically getting reviewed. What this new rule is going to do is it's going to expand on that a little bit. And I know we don't like replay, but I think in this situation we will. So now, instead of simply reviewing touchdowns and turnovers, we will review potential touchdowns and turnovers. So what this rule is, and I'll say it right from the wording here, permanent makes the expansion of automatic replay reviews to include scoring plays and turnovers negated by a foul and any successful or unsuccessful try attempt. So if there wasn't a turnover, or if there was a turnover and there was a foul, you could challenge it and say, I think that foul didn't occur and that there was an actual turnover. So it might slow down the game a little bit. I don't know how often this happens. I'm sure the competition can be a little deeper into it than I have right now. But what it does, again, is if you think there was a score, they can automatically review it. If there was a penalty, they can automatically review it. You don't have to waste a coach's challenge. I'm a fan of it. I hope you guys are too. That's one that I like. So again, hit yes or no in the comment section. Let me know if you like that rule. Again, here's the amendment. Rule 15, Section 2. The expansion of automatic replay reviews to include scoring plays and turnovers negated by a foul and any successful or unsuccessful try attempts. So that's the new rule, Rule 15, Section 2. That successful or unsuccessful try attempt can be reviewed, and also any turnover or touchdown negated by a penalty. Such plays may be reviewed regardless of whether a foul is committed or not. I like the replays, gotta get it right. Yes, absolutely, you gotta get it right. What's frustrating about replays, and Austin, you bring up a good point. What's frustrating about replays is when you have the replay system and you still get it wrong. Listen, last season, when they announced at this time that there was going to be a new pass interference challenge, right? That pass interference calls can be challenged. I was frustrated, right? Because again, we knew it was going to slow down the game. And we thought, at that time, this isn't going to help anything. Then the season comes around, right? Season comes around, and we're proven right. We're proven right because there are some egregious pass interference calls missed or called on the field that are challenged and upheld. Even though everyone in the booth, everyone talking media-wise could say, hey, that wasn't pass interference, or hey, that was pass interference. A perfect example is pass interference in the what game was it? The Houston Texans game. Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens game. DeAndre Hopkins in the end zone early in the first quarter. Obviously gets held and turned around before the ball even gets there. Incomplete, no flag. Bill O'Brien challenges it. And listen, Bill O'Brien's a moron, but he got this one right. Challenges it, and it's still not overturned. When you can't see it, when you can't do it right, don't do it at all. But the point of replay, as Austin said, is to get it right. Blindside block. Well, we'll get into the other penalties. The second penalty that has been changed is the defenseless player protection. Okay, so let's talk about this rule for a minute. I'm not a fan of this rule. And it's not because I don't want to protect the players. We'll get into that. Anything should be reviewable. Again, as long as they get it right. If everything's going to be reviewable, though, then I think you have to put it up to the booth. You have to have that booth official to come down to page you and say, hey, we need to check that out. And we saw what happened in the 1990s when the officials had that, right? Remember the Jacksonville versus Cleveland game where the review didn't come because there was a rule back then where if you got a snap off before the replay officials blew the play dead, then that play couldn't be reviewed anymore. Well, go back to Jacksonville, Cleveland. I think it was 1998. And let me know how that turned out. It turned out to be a pretty bad scene for the NFL, black eye in the NFL. But I do believe if everything's going to be reviewed, which it looks like that's where we're going, it needs to be up in the booth. You can't have two challenges for a coach, award him the third if he gets it right. It has to be all booth review. You can't slow down a game. You can't do what coaches sometimes like to do and use a challenge as a timeout, right? Either you use the timeout or you don't. It should be that simple, right? And Coach McDermott's done it plenty of times where we thought we would not get the play overturned, but we wanted to call a timeout anyway. Might as well review a close play. If it goes our way, great. If not, we got that timeout anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, you have to take some of those things away if that's what you're going to do. But, hey, if everything's going to be reviewable, again, I'm fine with that as long as you get it right. As long as when you review it, you get it right. If you keep going to a review booth after a while, I'll get frustrated, but I want it right too. All right, I want the game to be called fair. I want everything to be done the same. I want it to be consistent, and that's just what I want. I think that's what all fans want. So the second rule is the defenseless player protection. Rule 12, Section 2, Article 9. Listen, an NFL playbook is huge, or rule book is huge, guys. Just trust me on that. Expands defenseless player protection to a kickoff or punt return who is in possession of the ball, but who has not had time to avoid or ward off the impending contact of an opponent. I watch too many YouTube videos. Let's say that. Let's not mark it up to memory. I watch too many YouTube videos because I love doing it. Because again, I respect people who do this. I know how hard it can be at times. I really enjoy it. So I try to throw my respect out to others who do this, and hopefully maybe one day it will get thrown back my way. But we're talking about the defensive player. Why I don't like this rule is because they already protect the kickoff and punt returners. See, here's the thing, and here's why I don't like this rule. This rule right here is really up to interpretation. What's enough time? What's enough time to move out of the way? What's enough time to juke somebody? What's enough time to see a player's coming? 2 yards? Because if you're saying it's 2 yards, you're giving the returner enough time to make a move, and the first defender doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If the first defender, Steve Tasker, would have had so many flags thrown his way if this rule was in effect back when he played. Because he was there right when the ball got there. That's what made Steve Tasker great. That's why Steve Tasker should be the only special team specialist in the Hall of Fame. Because he was there every single time. Guy caught the ball, he was knocked down. So A, what's a defenseless punt returner or kick returner? Oh, well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. What is a defenseless kickoff or punt returner? What does that encompass? And this doesn't even say hits to the head. This says impending contact with an opponent. So my man catches the ball and he gets tripped as he's catching the ball. Is that 15? Is that 15? Is that what we're saying? We're saying that, hey, you get that little bump, you wrap him around the waist, you make a great football tackle, make a great football play, 15 yards. Is that what we're saying right now? Because that's the way it reads. That's the way it reads. It says impending contact of an opponent. It does not say he has to have possession of the ball, but if he has not had time to avoid or ward off the impending contact of the opponent. So now, again, you're saying a guy catches the ball, he's beginning to look down. If I'm within 2 yards, I gotta say, hey, I can't touch him yet. He hasn't had time. He needs to have time to see me, and we need to have some tea and crumpets. I can't even untie his shoelace. Can't even untie his shoelace because someone might get sad. I'll get a 15-yard penalty for making a great play. I know we want player safety. I get it. I do. And listen, for everyone who complains about player safety, I tell you this, it's the player's fault. Whenever I hear a player complain about player safety, I want to go off on them. Do you know why? Because it's the players who wanted it. Do you think the NFL wanted to be sued for a couple $1 billion? I don't. But now that's happened, right? Now that's happened, and all of a sudden, the NFL has to make these extraordinary circumstances. Oh, he touches the ball, he can't be touched. Oh, let's give everyone what they want. Let's make it Canadian football. In fact, why have a defense? Why? Let's Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs this stuff and see who can score the most points. That's what it's about. Yay, football. Grab some flags. Put them in your waistband, and let's see what happens. But even then, if you don't give enough time to juke before you pull out that flag, would that get you 15? I don't know. It'll be interesting. Be interesting to see. Ask the officials, because they'll know. Because they all read the rule book. I don't think so. I don't think so. By the way, guys, this isn't even the rule I'm mad about. Just so you know. Just so you know. So let me read it to you exactly how it's read in the rule book. All right, so like I said, Article 9, players in a defenseless posture. Players in a defensive posture are, it works for basketball. Why not? Why not? A kickoff or punt returner attempting to field a kick in the air who has not had time to clearly become a runner. Again, what does that mean? You might as well say, and hasn't had time to make a football move. Because we all remember what that meant. If the player is capable of avoiding or warding off the impending contact of an opponent, he is no longer a defenseless player. Hey, Anthony, how you doing? Good to see you. You're missing some good stuff, man. If you just joined me, we went off a little bit about Jack Eichel and the Buffalo Sabres, so you'll have to watch that again. Right now, we're going off about some of these new rules. The first new rule was automatic replay reviews. Now we're talking about defenseless players. Talk to Austin, talk to Tony. They'll let you know how I feel about that rule change. But now we're getting into one that really frustrates me. This one really got me going when I read about it. And I think as Buffalo Bill fans, you'll completely understand. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk. If you haven't already hit that thumbs up button, guys, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Billievers Talk. If you like passion, if you like someone who shows their passion on their sleeve, you come to the right place, all right? So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, after you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. YouTube will notify you when I put out new content. But guys, I love doing these live streams Thursdays. I think Buffalo Fanatics is currently doing one that started at 9, so that might be why some of you aren't getting in here, but that's okay. That's all right. We're here every Thursday, 9:30. So again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. All right, so let's talk about this third rule change. And again, this one does not have me happy. I think you guys will understand just in a second. Game clock manipulation. Game clock manipulation. If you haven't figured it out yet, here's what we got. This change is to amend Section 3, Article 12, prevents teams from manipulating the game clock by committing multiple dead ball fouls while the clock is running. If you remember, in the playoffs last season, the Tennessee Titans wildcard weekend against the New England Patriots, they were getting ready to punt, delay of game. Delay of game does not stop the game clock. So they took the delay of game penalty. Now, the old rule stated if you had two of the same penalties, then the second penalty would stop the game clock. However, if it's two different dead ball penalties, it would not stop the game clock. So what the Titans did was they let the game clock run down, or the play clock run down 1 second. Oh, oops, false start on the offense. Dead ball foul, 5-yard penalty, but the clock kept moving. So in that game against the Patriots, there was a minute 20 taken off. I was not defending. Again, I was making the one defense. I was defending him, but I was making the one defense he has. I'm still not saying he's a good GM. Again, if you didn't see my live stream or my video I did after they announced it, I was not happy. Still not happy about it. But again, bad leadership goes all the way up to the top. All the way up to the top. So anyway. So why am I mad about this rule? All right. The Titans took a minute 20 off the Patriots. I think it was the sweetest minute and 20 seconds I had in a while. Because if you remember right, that game was right after the Buffalo Bills lost to the Houston Texans. I was not a happy camper, but was able to tune in for the fourth quarter of the... Hey, Scott, how you doing? Glad to see you in here. So, again, and Scott, we're talking about the rule changes. Again, if you just joined me, went off a little bit earlier, and I'm going to go off here. I'm going to go off. I'm gonna flip my lid. I might, if you see me go down, it's a heart attack. Call somebody. All right. Amendment 4, Section 3, Article 12, prevents teams from manipulating the clock by committing multiple dead ball fouls while clock is running. All right. Titans did it this past season against the New England Patriots. But why? Why did the Titans do it this season against the New England Patriots? Well, who's the head coach of the Tennessee Titans? Oh, a former Patriots player. Huh. So where did he learn that coaching move from? Bill Belichick. The Patriots ran this move every year. Every year. And it's fine. Listen, I didn't like it, but there was no rule against it. Don't go down, Joe. There was no rule against it. Right? So, okay, I don't like it when they do it, but if there's no rule against it, hey, use the rule book to your advantage. And for the coaches that didn't know what was in the rule book, shame on you. Shame on you for not reading the rule book. Just like shame on the officials for not reading the stupid officials manual every single season. Not reading about these rule changes. I'm going more into these rule changes now than some officials conference that's going to happen in a month. That they're going to be like, oh, I was there. I had a beer. I don't know what they talked about. Game manipulation. That's what they're calling it now. So the Tennessee Titans beat Bill Belichick at his own game. And now the NFL saying, you can't do that. You can't do that. Really? Really? And Tony's saying it right now, help knock the Patriots out of the playoffs, so they said, we have to change that rule. So it's good to see that the NFL wasn't just showing favoritism towards Tom Brady. Oh no, it goes much deeper than that. Bill Belichick, Croft, let's get you what you need. I don't need to ask who asked for this rule change. I don't. Bill's thanks, Scott. Yeah, I'm going to Disney, but he has to stay at least 6 feet away from people. So yeah, there's that. But hey, thanks for the donation, Scott. Scott comes in and says, thought I would change your mood. Newsflash. Bills winning Super Bowl. Can I just don't make that my title? People call it clickbait. I don't want to do any of that. Josh Allen going to Disney. Oh man. Joe getting hyped. Hey, that table was defenseless 15 yards. Yeah, listen. This is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I don't even know what page I'm on anymore. All right. So again, this is something that the Patriots did year after year after year. And again, I mean, you got to respect Bill Belichick for knowing the rules. We saw coaches on the other sidelines going crazy, just as crazy as Bill Belichick was last season in the playoffs. But the difference was you saw it on Bill Belichick's face too. You saw it. Watch that game over again. It was the best thing ever when Bill Belichick realized he was getting blanked up his own ass because of a penalty that he basically knew all about. It was hilarious to watch it because instead of being a coach who didn't know what was going on, that was too ignorant to read the rule book, he knew exactly what was happening and he knew there wasn't a damn thing he could do about it. Not a damn thing he could do about it. That was the difference. But now, whoa! Bill Belichick's upset. How do we fix that? Roger Goodell comes in and says, wait, Bill's upset. No, hold on. Bill can't, is there a way, I need to put the Patriots are back in the playoffs. But he realized something. He realized that the Patriots weren't going to beat the Chiefs. So it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. So game clock manipulation. All right, so let me read this for you straight from the rule book. Article 2, scrimmage down. Following any timeout, the game clock shall be started on a scrimmage down when the ball is next snapped, except for the following situations. And the third one down now says, the offense commits a dead ball foul during the fourth quarter or overtime that is accepted or a specific rule prescribes otherwise. So we changed that rule. We changed that rule too. All right. Anything else the Patriots want? Anything? They upset Papa John's isn't the official pizza sponsor of the NFL anymore. Maybe we get them back. They upset that Toyota is the official car sponsor. Maybe they like Ford's better. You know, Pepsi is the official soft drink sponsor. They like Coke better. I don't know what the official beer sponsor is. They have so many Sting beer commercials. I think it's Coors Light. I think it's Coors, but I know they have Budweiser commercials. I know they have some hard cider commercials. Speaking of hard cider, guys, this is delicious. I'm not gonna tell you the name of it until they give me like something, a shout out for mentioning it, but it's delicious. Okay, that apparently didn't work. Newsflash number 2: Bills break Dolphins record as only they can't. So did they go back and beat them? Did they go back and beat them, or they joined them in the again? Scott, thank you for the donation. This segment brought to you by Scott Blakely. Guys, Scott Blakely for all your YouTube donation needs. I got you. Thank you for the super chat. Always appreciate it, Scott. Always appreciate it. So the clock gonna run when not much time. Is that Bud Light, says Anthony? Okay, well there you go. There you go. I don't know. I drink cider. I don't drink beer. And when I do, it's Yingling, and I've yet to see a Yingling commercial on. I do drink Corona from time to time. Corona. But yeah, I have yet to see a Yingling commercial on a NFL game that I can remember. And I live in Pennsylvania, where the Yingling Brewery is. And I don't recall seeing one. So basically, what I'm saying, Austin, is that the clock is going to run on any dead ball foul by the offense. Or the clock's going to stop. The clock's going to stop. If the clock is running and the offense commits a penalty in the fourth quarter or overtime, the clock's going to stop. And it's not like the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. It's not, in a specific time frame. Nope, the whole last fourth quarter. Whole thing. So, you want to talk about slowing the game down? Talk about those reviews from earlier, those challenges, those extra review plays. You think that's slowing the game down? This is going to slow the game down. Welcome to how do we get an NFL game to be 4 hours? Do you know why? You know why it's okay to make an NFL game 4 hours? I'll tell you why. Because fools like me will complain about it. We'll hate it. We'll think it's stupid. We're still going to watch. We're still going to watch the whole game. Because we love football. Same thing with Thursday night. I hate Thursday night football. Listen, I don't watch. Now, of course, I'm going to watch the Bills-Chiefs game. I don't watch Thursday night football. That's why I live stream at halftime during the season of Thursday night, because I don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't care about it. I know my live stream's a little longer into the third quarter, but I love it because I love hanging out with you guys. I'd much rather hang out with you guys than watch Thursday night football. Don't like it at all. The product stinks. But it makes money. Why have the draft on only Saturday and Sunday when you can make it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, make more money, spread out longer? It works. The NFL is a business, and I get it. It's a business. Whatever makes money, make people happy. All right. So those are the rule changes in the NFL. Sorry, I heard noise upstairs. Hopefully I wasn't too loud. I do have a kid who is asleep. And I don't want him to wake up until tomorrow morning. So, those are the 3 rule changes. There was also a bylaw change. Let me read this one. I haven't had a lot of time to go over this. I don't know what my reaction is going to be to this, guys. I don't know what my reaction is going to be. Again, guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. You'll love it. You'll love it here. Boop-doop-boop-doo. I'm loving it. All right, so here is the approved bylaws for 2020. NFL owners on Thursday, today, also voted to approve one of 3 2020 bylaw proposals. All right, let's read this out loud. The new rule submitted by the league office increases the number of players who may be designated for return from 2 to 3. Let me read that again. Increases the number of players who may be designated for return from 2 to 3. It also incorporates interpretations applicable to bye weeks during the regular season and postseason. So I believe this is talking about IR. I believe, Scott, to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I believe it's majority, though. I believe it's majority, but I'm not 100% sure. If only we had like this type of like machine that we could go into and ask questions, and it would give us the best answers based on data put into the said machine that has a global network. Hi, Google. How does an NFL rule get made or changed? All 32 owners have 1 vote each. 24 votes, 75% of the league, are needed to pass a proposal. That means it only takes 9 owners to block any proposal and reject it. The final step is, of course, updating the rule book and educating the officials on any new rule changes. Educating the officials. That's the step that they forget. Who wrote this? This is obviously wrong. It's on the internet. Nobody listens anyway. Google, I hate you. This is why we don't look at anything from you. Train the officials. Who has time to do that? They're only getting paid $30,000. Only getting paid $30,000. No, so Scott, to answer your question, obviously right there, 75% of the owners have to agree on the rule change. So, all right, so I believe that this LFL rule change, the bylaws change, deals with inactive players or IR players, saying that they can return 3 players a week instead of just 2. So that doesn't affect me in the slightest. I'm not gonna lie. The team's gonna know more about that kind of stuff than now. I'll forget about that by lunchtime tomorrow. Thanks, Scott. Yo, I'm loving this today. I'm loving this today. This is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Listen, for everyone who's gonna come in late, you gotta tell them what they missed. We're having such a good time right now. We talked about Jack Eichel getting fired up. We got a little fired up. We talked about Kim Pegula saying, hey, Sabres fans, they don't know what they're talking about. They're missing out, man. I know we suck on the ice, but that's not important. That's not what matters, guys. What matters is what's in here. And what's out here, yay! And remember that time that we had to get a fake jersey for Hall of Fame Buffalo Sabre to go to, I believe it was like car wash or something, to promote something? Because that's preparedness. That's what it's about. Why would you pay? Listen, I don't know if you guys saw those 50th anniversary jerseys. They're expensive. They're like $150. The real ones, right? They're like $150. When I can get a Chinese knockoff for $2, has his name on the back, has a nameplate, might be spelt right even. He won't know the difference. If we get one of those 1980 camera lenses, you won't know the difference. It's great. What's the problem? Problem is y'all suck when it comes to hockey. That's the problem. That's the problem we're all dealing with right now, Kim. That's the problem. Is that you as president have more power than even you might think you know. And our GM, let's see, last three seasons when he's been GM, Sabres finished 31st. Oh yeah, that's dead last, remember? Dead last. And okay, that season's Murray's fault. Got it, cool. 27th. Well, you know, moving up. And now 25th. But hey, again, if you're Kim Pegula, that's 2 spots. Listen, in 20 years, we might be a contender. Yay! Fans don't need to know anything. Stop it. Then we go over the rule changes. I'm fine with all of them. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I think this is fine. I think all the rule changes are good, right? Extra primo good, sir. Truth to Hearts comes in. How you doing? Glad that you're in here. I would love to see Joe take it of weed. A couple have. I mean, is it legal in the state? What are the laws as far as like time? I forget what I'm saying right now. Don't even listen to me. But like, maybe I haven't. I've never done anything. How do you even spell weed? I don't know. Weeds is a good show though. It was funny. Yeah. The baby is asleep. Shh, quiet, be quiet. Baby's sleeping. This is kind of the good news about me having the finished basement, right? Like, I can be a little bit more eccentric. I can be a little louder when it comes to this. Does anyone else notice when I get loud, I start getting a sore throat? I need more alcohol in my life. Joe Budweiser makes me homes better. I don't drink Bud. I don't drink beer. This is a really good cider. Guys, you should see me trying to open this with a can opener right now. It's pathetic. No, not Bud. Not Bud. All right, let's get to the third and final topic of the day. Hold on, I threw all my papers on the ground, guys. Now I have to find it. And the third and final topic of the day, and again, I'll get to all your questions. If you guys have any questions you want to talk about, man, what did I do? I will happily get to those about the Buffalo Bills, about the Buffalo Sabres. We talk more about Ed Oliver, the moron. There it is. Again, I stand behind Ed Oliver 100%. Man. All right. So the important news of the day, the fun news of the day, the good news of the day. The NFL has started, I'm out of breath. The NFL has started to begin the process of coming back in the forefront. Okay, and how have they done that? Well, announced today, the NFL head coaches could be permitted to enter team facilities as soon as next week. In addition, NFL minicamps could also return sometime in June, which isn't that far off from the original schedule. Plot twists that's just wondering. He's working on his acting to play a role as a drunk man. Listen, if you guys want me to act, I'll act. Want me to be Denzel? I can do Denzel. By that I mean, that sounds wrong. Don't let this go anywhere other than here. I don't know how football is gonna look now, but they need to figure out because it's our year. If I was on the Patriots, they would have changed the first offense alcohol violation. They would have changed the whole rule book. If Ed was on the Patriots, they would have changed the whole rule book. They would have said, listen, that rule about driving while intoxicated? Did he shoot somebody? He shot somebody. You know that rule that says that you shouldn't shoot anyone if you want to play in the NFL? Yeah, about that. I think we should. It's like Office Space. Remember the boss in Office Space? I'm going to have to ask you to come in on Saturday. Yeah. Thank God we know the Patriots were probably already working at the facility. Well, that did happen though, right? So when Florida and California and some of those first states announced that they could that teams could start coming back, Arizona I believe was one too. Mike Tomlin, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, came out and said, listen, it's unfair, which it is, for them to come back if we can't. So there needs to be a rule put in place saying that they can't. And that rule was put in place, which is a surprise. Normally the NFL doesn't act that quick unless it's Bill Belichick, but they did it. They did it. So, I mean, we know how much the league doesn't like the Steelers, but that's another story. So, according to Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports, the NFL head coaches could return to team facilities next week. Right now, the way it's working, head coaches are working from home, and that's fine. But when it comes to the film room, the weight room, things like that, you want to be at the facility. Plus, you want to be at the facility with the guys. You want to be at the facility with the team, especially the new guys, right? You talk about training camp or mini camps happening in June. That's going to be very important for these draft picks. These draft picks, these young players, the guys like Tyler, I'm not going to pronounce his last name if I'm not looking at it right now, who came in free agency. Right rules, the Patriots always follow those. Yeah, they listen. Bill Belichick has that rule book. He has every page laminated, and he puts it up in the locker and says, guys, this is what we're going to follow to the letter of the law. Unless I don't agree with it, then we're going to break it. And it's going to be okay. If I had to pick one, who would I pick? Trey White and Ed Oliver? Wait, if I had to pick one of these three things, I'm guessing. Trey White, Ed Oliver, Josh Allen, Tremaine Edmonds, Bean and McDermott. It's not even close to me. Bean and McDermott. Because I think it's actually very upsetting. I don't think it's upsetting to me. Actually, I know my feelings. It's upsetting to me to know that McDermott's future rides on Josh Allen's shoulders. Now, I think Josh Allen has a bright future. I think that Josh Allen's going to make that next step. I think the Bills are a team beating the AFC. I think the Bills are going to win the AFC East. I think Josh Allen's going to prove all the haters wrong. I think Josh Allen will complete about 64% of his passes this season, pass for over 3,000 yards, pass for over 25 touchdowns. I think that's all going to happen. I do. But for a moment, let's pretend it doesn't. Not only is Josh Allen gone, all of a sudden Coach McDermott's back on the hot seat. All of a sudden, if Coach McDermott's on the hot seat, you have to believe that Brandon Beane's on the hot seat. Although it looks like the Pagulas don't like to fire GMs, so that's a plus. But yeah, if you ask me which one I want to keep, it's gonna always be Brandon Beane and Coach McDermott. I just think they're awesome at what they do. But yeah, Beane and McDermott all the time. Anthony agrees with me. They would get us four of those guys or the equivalent. Yeah, if I had to rank them, it would be 3-2-1, right? Because Josh Allen, listen, the quarterback on the field, the quarterback's the most important position. True yards, I think so too. Look what we did with Tyrod Taylor. I mean, Tyrod's a good quarterback, and yada yada, and yada yada yada, and whatever. Some Bills fans, some of you might be in here too, believe. I don't know. But all right, so with state governments eyeing an entry point for NFL franchises to resume offseason activities, head coaches could return to team facilities as early as next week, with players potentially following in squad minicamps in mid to late June. Coaches resume their in-house work next week. Minicamps, including players, could be scheduled as early as June 15th or as late as June 27th. When they have an or as late as date, that's really good. That's really good. That means, hey, worst case scenario, June 27th, we're starting minicamps. And guys, listen, it's going to take a lot less time than 2 months for the season to be on point, all right? So as of right now, and we don't know what's going to happen with this virus, like people pretend, right? The government pretends, health professionals, the CDC, they pretend. Guys, it's an invisible, and ladies, because Amy, you might be in here too. I think Amy might be the only female that watches you, but I appreciate it. But ladies and gentlemen, it's an invisible virus. Please tell me how anyone knows what's actually going to happen. I've avoided this whole 3 months. This whole time I've avoided talking about this on this channel because, listen, you guys want to break from this. I want to break from it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't care about it. Can't win with them. Can't coach them. Herm Edwards. How do I think that the Sabres will fare in the draft lottery? Not well. Not well. And I'm not going to be honest with you, I don't think it matters. I can only take into account what I've heard, right? I don't watch college hockey all that much, okay? And by all that much, I mean I watch the Frozen Four, that's it. So I don't know who's actually good, who's actually not good. But what I can tell you is what experts are saying is this is not a strong draft class, period. So even if they get the number 1 overall pick, they get the number 1 player in the draft. Now, Dallin was not supposed to be as good as I think he's going to be, so that leads to some potential. Victor Olofsson had a great season last year. I think he can be a better player than what people projected him to be. So obviously, I think there's diamonds in the rough in every draft class. But diamonds in the rough don't have to be the first overall pick. I mean, this isn't like 5 years ago when you had McDavid and Eichel 1, 2, and then it was like, who's left? There aren't that. According to experts, and again, I don't watch hockey all that much in college, so I don't know for sure. But according to what the experts are saying, this is not a strong draft class in the NHL. So the Sabres could fare well and still not get great talent, right? So I don't think we have a 6% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. I don't think that's happening. I expect to pick 5th, maybe 6th. And so I just don't know what to expect at that point. How about when they change the rules in the NFL or have the NFL meetings, why don't we send the Patriots to the massage parlor? Well, at least Robert Kraft is always at a massage parlor. Robert Kraft's at a massage parlor right now, even though they're all closed, of course, but he's there. So I think the Blues love lotteries. They play for their shot at winning every year. Better Roll gives them their best chance at lottery, and so he stays. Is that what it is, Tony? Is that what it is? Man, then they should hire me as a GM. I promise them lotteries every year. Promise. Because as a fan, according to Kim Pagula, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Losing's good. We're all happy. Yay, losing. I need another drink. Currently, teams are allowed to conduct a virtual minicamp, which the Bills are doing. Though it's nowhere close to the same thing as actual minicamp practices on the football field. The NFL is planning to scrap all in-person offseason workouts until training camp. So to bring this back, to get minicamps, absolutely a good thing. Absolutely a good thing. So guys, again, if you're just joining me, wow, did you miss a show? I'm a little upset actually that I'm live streaming this. So the issue is that when you live stream something, YouTube only focuses on it during the course of the live stream, because they feel like if you're live streaming something, you're breaking news, and once the breaking news is over, like, what's the point, right? This isn't like ESPN or the NFL Network where they run breaking news for 27 hours and still call it breaking news, right? It was breaking news that the Arizona Cardinals traded with the Houston Texans up until the trade where the Bills traded for Stephon Diggs, which was literally about 12 hours apart. Maybe that's a little exaggeration, maybe 9 hours, but still, you get my point. So, but I had a good time on the show. This was a fun one, right? Just got to the hour mark, so I appreciate you guys joining me. So let's go over again what we talked about. We talked about Jack Eichel's comments. And listen, if you guys were watching the show when I was doing my Could It Happen series, I still might do some more Could It Happens. I think this Monday I'm going to do a Could It Happen? Could Josh Norman win Comeback Player of the Year? That's what I'm going to do. So you get that series still. But I think when I first started, one of the first episodes I did was could Jack Eichel be traded from the Buffalo Sabres? As of 2023, he has a no trade clause. Okay, so we don't have to worry about after that, but that still leaves 3 seasons. And this is the type of thing that happens that leads to a trade. Is this the first sign? Like Jack Eichel's unhappy. That's obvious. If you're a Buffalo Sabres player, if you're a Buffalo Sabres fan, even though remember the fans don't know what they're talking about, you should be unhappy. Hey, if you're a Buffalo Sabres GM or owner, you should be unhappy. But they seem okay. So, which is good for them. Yay, them. So is this the first step? Is this the first sign of him going somewhere else? So we talked about the Buffalo Sabres for just a moment. We talked about the NFL rule changes and how happy I am that these rule changes are coming into effect. I think out of 3 rule changes, Tony, you've been here the whole time. Out of these 3 rule changes, I think I was happy with the first one, or maybe the second one. Maybe that tomorrow. Anthony came in with a solid 1-2 for Byfield and Lafreniere. I think I'm going to say that wrong. And they're solid. But again, I don't know. I leading up to the NHL draft, I'll watch 3 or 4 prospects. This isn't like the NFL draft where I'll watch every single prospect known to man. I watch prospects that they end up getting taken in the NFL draft. They were undrafted free agents. But yeah, in the NHL draft, I'll watch like 4 guys. I'm like, okay, I got it. We'll draft this guy. I think last year during the draft, I was just so excited during the Sabres draft. I was like, we got this guy, yay! I had no idea what I was talking about. But when do I know what I'm talking about? Let's be honest, guys. When do I know what I'm talking about? Just one of them, I hate the others. Okay, I thought so. There was 3 rule changes. Let me go over the rule changes again real quick after I, figure out what they are. Clock manipulation, I swear to God. All right. Yeah, so it was the first one. Got it right here. Automatic replay review. So let's go over that again. Makes the expansion of automatic replay reviews to include scoring plays and turnovers negated by a foul in any success or unsuccessful try. Again, I don't think that's going to interfere much. I think that's not going to interfere all that much, and it's going to help out the game. Scott's having a good time. We're having a good time. Defenseless player protection. Yeah, very upset about that rule. And I'm not upset about, listen, again, I agree with player safety, but the problem becomes the wording, right? It's kind of like the catch rule a few years back when it said needs to make a football move, and everyone was like, well, what's that? What constitutes a football move? And that's why, impending contact of an opponent, it doesn't say head-to-head, it doesn't say horse collar, it doesn't say anything like that. It says impending contact. If you untie the guy's shoes before he has a chance to look at you and see you untying his, getting ready to untie his shoes, that's a 15-yarder every time. Players in a defenseless posture, which means he's looking up, right? You know, you had before, like 10 years ago, you had that cone. Remember that cone? You had like a yard, right? Cone. Give me the cone back. I like the cone. I like the cone heads. Saturday Night Live. I like ice cream cones. Give me back the cone. And then clock manipulation. Game clock manipulation. I don't need to say anything else. I don't need to say anything else, guys. If you were not here, if you were not present when I was talking about game clock manipulation, I believe you missed out on some good YouTube television. People in the comment section can tell you if you did. And if you're not watching this live, again, thank you for joining me. Hit that comment button. You're at 34% of the time, but when I'm drunk, I'm 98%. Again, why do you guys think I'm drunk? I've had like 3 ciders. Relax. But if you want, I can go up to Buffalo. Y'all can get me drunk. We'll see how often I'm right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's wait till everything's lifted. Schedule comes out. I'll tell you what game I'm going to. And if you're in the Buffalo area, I want to meet you. I want to say hi. And I want to forget I was with you the next day. Let's do it. All right, we're on. If a penalty is called on a gunner that they feel he did not make a football move, can it be challenged or reviewed? It doesn't say anything about being challenged. I don't know if they could throw a challenge flag on the gunner. I don't know. I've never. I mean, that's again. I mean, I think it was Tony. Didn't you say everything should be reviewed? So I mean, again, Steve Tasker would have had so many. You know, a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame, or should be in the Hall of Fame, might not be because special teams guys normally don't get in there, and he's not going to make it on his receiving skills. Let's be honest. Even though, if you remember right, he did score a receiving touchdown in the last game that Don Shula coached. Again, rest in peace, Don Shula. Great, probably one of the greatest coaches at the time. Died earlier this year, but I think he did catch a touchdown in that game. You guys gonna me if I'm wrong there. And then there was some kind of bylaw that was changed. I didn't understand it all as I read it here right now. And then we went over the training camp situation. NFL, pandemic. We're getting back to some football. By September, as long as everything goes according to plan, as long as everything goes according to plan, we got ourselves a football season. So we don't have to worry about that. Makes me happy. Makes you happy. But again, guys, thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. Again, always enjoy this time with you guys on Thursday nights, 9:30. So if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the rule changes, about the Pagulas as owners of the Sabres. Listen, and it's night and day. It's night and day. The difference between their ownership of the Sabres and the ownership of the Bills, it's night and day. And the reason why that is because they don't touch the Bills, right? We're the owners of the Bills. You guys figure it out. We're the owners of the Sabres. Oh, well, we can help. No, you can't. Thanks for your money. Thanks for keeping our team in Buffalo. I appreciate it. Big fan of the Pagulas. I still am. But let's stick to what we're good at. And hockey obviously isn't it. That's all I'm saying. Actually, that's not all I'm saying. It's a lot. But again, thank you guys for joining me on Billievers Talk. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. Like this video. If you're not new to the channel, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for an hour and always spending a Thursday night here with me. Again, thank you guys very much. This channel could not happen without you. So again, I appreciate it so much. I have a special video planned for you guys tomorrow evening. So make sure, if you haven't planned your Friday evening yet, you're not going anywhere. Welcome to COVID life. If you haven't planned your Thursday or Friday evening, I have a special video planned, so make sure you check it out. If you haven't hit that notification bell, hit it. It's going to come out tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you check it out. It's going to give you an idea of something that we're going to be doing right here on Believers Talk up until August, I believe it's going to run into. So make sure you check it out. I look forward to it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.